Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. The member for Gorton has moved to disallow the Building Code of 2016. The member for Gorton's private member's business is yet another example of Labor's rank hypocrisy and its outright subservience to the CFMEU. Now, it is absolutely undeniable that the Labor Party, and in fact the Leader of the Opposition, are owned lock, stock and barrel by the CFMEU. My sources in the building and construction industry inform me that the CFMEU are white-hot angry with the opposition leader and the Labor Party for their failure to stop the reintroduction of the ABCC and the Building Code, because they know that the implementation of these measures has resulted in a severe disruption of their illegal and corrupt conduct. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, I'm one of the few people in this place who understands the building and construction industry. I've worked in the industry as a carpenter, a builder, a mediator, an adjudicator and a barrister in construction law. I've given 30 years of my working life to the industry. It's been good to me and my family, as it has good to many families around this country. But I've seen firsthand the best and the worst that the industry can bring. I have personally been subjected to threats and intimidation by the loyal thugs of the then Builders Labourers Federation. The Builders Labourers Federation being the precursor to the CFMEU. That group of lawless individuals that were so bad that Prime Minister Hawke deregistered. So the CFMEU enter into the equation and they have not changed their tune, not one iota. Mr Deputy Speaker, who on the other side of the House, who has actually worked in the building industry? I don't mean working as a shop steward or working as a union delegate or an organiser. Who on the other side of the House has swung a hammer, has dug trenches, has built things in the building industry? I would suggest, Mr Deputy Speaker, that not one person has worked on the tools. Those opposite don't care about the workers, the mums and dads who struggle every day to make a living in the nation's third largest employment sector. Those opposite are interested in trying to appease their union masters that have donated $10 million in recent years to the ALP election coffers. To all the mums and dads out there working on every building site, I'm talking to you right now, and believe it or not, there are mums and dads out there listening right now. No, they're not turning it off. They are listening, and I'm talking to them right now. I'm suggesting to you that the CFMEU has no interest whatsoever in your welfare or your work conditions. All they want is your union membership. All they want is your money and the power that enables them to wield over their political arm, the Australian Labor Party. The member for Gorton's private member's business, which seeks to disallow the Building Code, should be seen for what it is, Mr Deputy Speaker, as a clumsy attempt made by both the Leader of the Opposition and the member for Gorton to try and re-enliven the protection racket that has been waged by the CFMEU, underwritten and supported by the Labor Party, federally and throughout the country, particularly in my home state of Queensland. You see, Mr Deputy Speaker, the Labor Party have to be seen to be trying to prevent the reintroduction of the rule of law on Australian building sites. But we on this side of the House will not stand for that. We will fight tooth and nail against any suggestion whatsoever to try and reintroduce the lawlessness that has sat in the industry since the ABCC was last abolished. And I want to take this opportunity to give the House a little bit of a history lesson here. The ABCC was established by Prime Minister Howard in 2005, but unfortunately it was abolished by the Leader of the Opposition in 2012 at the at the demand of the CFMEU. During the 7 years in which the ABCC operated, productivity in the construction industry increased by 20%. Since its abolition, it flatlined. Since the ABCC was abolished, the rate of disputes in the sector increased by 43%, even while in other industries the rate of industrial disputes declined by 32%. Prior to the ABCC, industrial disputes in the construction industry were at 5 times the all industries average. But the other side say nothing to see here. It's got nothing to do with the ABCC. During the ABCC's operation, disputes fell to double the average. Since its abolition in 2012, disputes have again risen to around 5 times the average. The Building Code works in tandem with the restored ABCC to fix a major problem in our third largest industry, the building industry. Now, the CFMEU are notorious for bullying and intimidation and lawlessness in the industry. What some people don't understand, clearly those opposite don't understand, is that the high rate of industrial disputation adds costs to the cost of infrastructure, public infrastructure and private infrastructure. The building of schools, bridges, roads, hospitals, all significantly increased. Now, there's some talk about these increases being 30%, but, Mr Speaker, I believe, and my own evidence has shown me, that figure is a gross underestimate. My figures demonstrate that the cost of lawlessness in the building and construction industry adds costs of somewhere between 60 and 100% to the cost, particularly of public infrastructure. And I can see some there shaking their heads on the other side. They don't want to believe it. Open your eyes. Do some investigations yourselves and see what the CFMEU are doing to this country. They are destroying this country. Destroying this country because the increased costs and the increased— oh no, you're absolutely right, you're not. And that's a really good point. There are very good people in the union industry. Well, it is an industry. There are very good people in the union movement. And Australia needs a union movement. We on this side don't hate unions. What we hate is union thuggery and union lawlessness. That's what we hate, and that's what we'll stand up for. We on this side of the House recognise that the unions play an important part in this country, and we will stand up for them. But we cannot stand and we will not stand for union lawlessness. Our building code means that if you want to tender for Commonwealth-funded work, small businesses must now get a fair go. Now, those opposite talk about the Section 11A of the building code, but those opposite clearly haven't read the note that immediately precedes Section 11A. And for those interested, which should be the other side, Section 11.3a says, "Note, this does not prevent the inclusion of clauses in an enterprise agreement that encourage employment of apprentices." Oh, you didn't leave that. You left that off, didn't you? You left that off. Ridiculous.